In the first part of this video, we looked at two new methods for user input, mouse press and key press. Mouse press happens just one time, or the code inside mouse press happens just one time each time the mouse is pressed, and the code inside a key press method happens just one time each time the key is pressed. We're going to learn two more right now. The first one is mouse dragged. Mouse dragged happens 60 times a second for as long as the mouse is pressed down and moving around. So again, make sure your draw method is closed before you start a new method. You cannot put a method inside another, well, can't define a new method inside an existing method. So I'm going to say void mouse dragged. And let's at first just have something happen. I'll just have an ellipse appear. 250, 250, 100 by 100. So take a moment and think, what is going to happen when this program runs? Did you guess just a black screen? But now if I'm on screen and I click and move my mouse around, get the ellipse. If I let go or stop moving, the ellipse will disappear. So the code inside mouse drag only happens when the mouse, of course, is pressed and moving. If I move that ellipse now into my draw method, and let's say maybe I want to animate its color using a variable and mouse dragged. So say int r equals 0, and that'll be the redness of the shape. Use an r in fill, and then maybe like no green and maybe some green and a lot of blue. So it's going to start out kind of teal, and then I want, as my mouse is dragged, I'll increase how much red is there. So the red will start out at 0. Now if I click and drag, it's going to get more and more sort of magenta, and I'll stop there. It's kind of probably maxed out right now. So again, starts out kind of blue, and as I click and drag, the value of R increases until it maxes out at 255. And R will still keep going up, but the maximum amount of redness is obtained there. So that's mouse dragged. Let's do, then the last one is mouse released. Take a guess of when that method would be called, or the function inside that method would be called. It is, in fact, when the mouse is released. So just one time when the mouse is released. So a way to demonstrate this is the program I have now has the amount of red increasing for as long as the mouse is dragged. But what I could do is void mouse released. Say when I let go of the mouse, instead of just have it in the amount of red stay where it is, I could set it back to 0. So reset R to 0 when mouse is released. So now and let's actually, maybe I can even put a little text in here so we can see the value of R get bigger and then reset. So hold while that text loads. So as I drag and move around, we see R getting greater and greater, and if I let go of the mouse, it goes instantly back to 0. Greater and greater and greater, instantly back to 0. For this program now, take a moment and just change it. So instead of, or maybe in addition to, the amount of red in the fill getting greater, make it so that the ellipse starts all the way over on the left side of the screen, and as you drag the mouse, it moves towards the right, and when you release the mouse, it returns back to its original state. When you finish that, you can turn that in for the second classwork assignment from today. So the classwork part 2. So again, just edit this, adjust it a little bit, so in addition to getting redder, the ellipse is also moving to the right. So it starts all the way at the left side. As you click and drag the mouse, it moves to the right, and then when you let go, it goes all the way back to the left.